All right. We'll open the meeting then. Can I have everybody state their name, that they're here?
At Carlino, I'm here.
Sean Renier here.
David Consolati here. Our first order of business is the open meeting sessions of March 2nd, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Sean Renier, aye.
Pat Carlino, aye. Sorry.
David Consolati, aye. Next, we move on. We have no public hearings. General business, our first order of business is Lee Chamber, Colleen Henry, discussion of regarding restrictions on outside restaurant service. If she's online, I'd like to hear from her.
Mr. Chair, I don't see her online, but I'll check other correspondence, and
Okay.
town clerk will do the same. If she enters the meeting room, we'll let you know.
Okay. Then we'll move down to the next item. The road toll participants from last year's COVID canceled participants. We have a list of people that were selected last year and they didn't get to do this. We've had discussion with the Board of Health, and they said as long as they follow procedures with masks and gloves, then everything should be fine. So before I read off the names, are the both of you okay with this?
Yeah, we've got 8 this year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with this. When are we gonna have the guidelines? Do we know?
We already have guidelines. It's been going on for years. It's basically before all this, they had to put up a sign saying what they're doing, and they had to wear a vest, and they were in the middle of the road for a certain number of hours, and they had to, if you're going to give money, they have to give you something. So
Right.
It was either a pencil, a piece of candy, a lollipop, whatever. So those guidelines still be in line, but we also need them to wear a mask and gloves, I believe.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So any additional COVID guidelines will be added to that.
Yes.
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 Cindy's letter.
So yes, we'll just have Cindy add it to the regulations for what they have to do.
Very
So
good.
I will read off the individuals who get to do this. First is Troop 3, Lee Boy Scouts. The second is Lehigh Boys Soccer. The third is Lehigh Gridiron. The fourth is Lee VFW, which gets it every year, no matter what. The fifth is G. Marconi Lodge, Sons of Italy. The sixth is Lee Volleyball Booster Club. The seventh is Lee Lions. And the eighth is Knights of Columbus. And the letters will go out to the recipients by the end of the week after we approve this.
I'd move the applicants that applied with the, I know she'll think of it, but just so it's in the minutes to Cindy to make sure she checks the dates, because they will have changed since last year.
Mhm.
And the DFW always has the 4th of July weekend.
Oh,
Correct?
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Sean Renier, aye.
Pat Carlino, aye. Sorry.
David Consolati, aye. All right. Next, we have the Agricultural Commission announcement, need of members. Do we have anybody online for that, Chris?
Yeah, I can just add to that, Mr. Chair, that they're looking for additional members. There's only a couple members right now, and there's at least 3 or 4 vacancies if anyone's interested. And it's a selectman appointed board.
Can you give a brief description of what this does?
Yeah, the commission would give recommendations to other boards as needed related to agricultural topics, and also promote agriculture within the town of Lee.
Okay.
Chris Britton, excuse me, do you have any people you know that might be interested to serve on this?
Well, right now, actually, my wife is on it, and I believe she's the only member right now, possibly one other person. So that's my why I spoke up. She was going to try to join the meeting, but she's running a little late. So
Okay. Yeah, you and she might have more of a knowing of who in town is involved in agriculture. Give them a call.
yeah, there were a couple other members that for other various reasons weren't able to be on there anymore. But yeah, if there is anybody, and we'll forward their names to you.
There may be a few people that I know that might be interested in this, so I'll reach out to some people in the agricultural field. Could we post something on the town website as well? Is that possible?
Yep, we can do that.
Okay.
With all this going on, a lot of people are growing again, as opposed to a few years ago. So, maybe we can get some people who are really interested in agriculture to apply and get a fuller board for you.
Mr. Chair, I just want to note that the Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, Colleen Henry, has joined the meeting. So if you wanted to return to that agenda item, now would be the time.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything to add on this item?
No.
All right, then we'll go back to topic 1, Lee Chamber of Commerce, Colleen Henry, regarding the restrictions on outside restaurant service. So if Colleen's here.
Could you unmute yourself, Colleen, please?
Hello, thank you. And I apologize that I'm signed in under Chris, but we had a chamber board meeting last night, and so I didn't change the Zoom settings, and I apologize for that. So
Perfectly understandable.
okay, thanks. So I want to I guess inquire or confirm that we will allow the Lee restaurants this season to serve outside like they did last year, because even though the situation is getting better, I think there's going to be some hesitancy about going into very crowded restaurants. And we're hoping that the restaurants will be very crowded this year. I think it's going to be busier. So, excuse me, we just want to make sure that that's okay with everyone, that we can do that. And once I have your okay, then I can let all the restaurants know. And
I think under the guidelines.
I'm sorry.
As long as under the guidelines of the Board of Health, I think everything should be fine.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to let the restaurants know that we can operate under the same guidelines that we operated under last year.
Okay. Well, I'll let my colleagues have their say, but yes, I believe so. Go ahead.
Anybody else?
Pat?
Well, I'm all right with that, Colleen. I hope the restaurants are busy this year, and I hope they can take advantage of any possible outside dining they have. And you might just want to check with Jim Willis before the season begins to see if there's anything new that needs to be added or not.
All right.
Yeah, I also agree. I think we could give them. I'm fine with this. I mean, if as long as they're following the guidelines, I don't have any problem with it.
I think everyone last year followed all the guidelines. I didn't hear of any problem whatsoever.
I didn't either.
Yeah, so I will just make sure that they understand that they have to adhere to whatever guidelines I get from Jim, and we can go forward, and hopefully we'll have a really good, busy summer.
We all hope so.
We have our fingers crossed. So thank you very much. That's all I wanted. And now I will vacate this space, okay?
Thank you very much.
Hey,
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Next, we have a Greener Gateway Committee. Patricia Johnson wants to be a new member. And I have a letter from her. It says the following. She's been a member of the Lee Cultural Council, would like to join Greener Gateway Committee. Trish has attended the meetings. This is from Peter. She's participated in roadside cleanups over the past couple of months. She'd be a welcome addition to our team. I hope you can explain the process. Have the select board approve her joining our committee. She will send you a letter for interest. And her letter to us is, I am writing this letter to inform you of my desire to become a member of Lee Greener Gateway Committee. I moved to Lee in May 2019. Love living in a small community. I'm currently a volunteer at Lee Cultural Council. I am very interested in also participating in your committee. I recently participated in the February monthly cleanup of Lee and will continue to do so. I will definitely like to assist in any way I can with the annual cleanup being held this year. I've only attended 2 meetings as a visitor, so I am getting up to speed on all the different initiatives and programs the committee is working on, and will welcome the opportunity to be part of the group. A little information about my current and prior volunteering experience. I'm currently an AMC, Appalachian Mountain Club trail volunteer, where I maintain a section of the Appalachian Trail for the Berkshire chapter. I was also a trail maintainer in New York for 15 years and the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference, which maintains many of the trails in the region. While living in Oregon for 2 years, I was a volunteer with Solve, Stop Oregon Litter and Vandalism, which implemented local cleanups and also statewide beach cleanup for the entire coast of Oregon. Thank you for considering me to join the supporting committee and look forward to hearing from you.
Well, I'm not going to say no. Welcome aboard.
Do you need a motion to approve?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of Tricia Johnson.
Pat Carlino, second. Sorry.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Pat Carlino, aye.
Sean Renier, aye.
David Consolati, aye. Welcome aboard. I hope you enjoy your time.
Okay.
Moving on. We have Matthew Fenton with a request for voluntary recognition collective bargaining. Chris, do we have Matthew on there?
Yep, we just unmuted him.
Good evening, Mr. Chair.
Matthew, how are you?
Good, thank you.
State your case.
So, for people that don't know me, I am a firefighter for the town of Lee, firefighter EMT. We would like to organize with the International Association of Firefighters and the Professional Firefighters of Massachusetts as our sole collective bargaining unit. In many ways, this will benefit the town as it opens up the door for networking, not only across the Commonwealth, but across the entire country. It also opens the door for many opportunities to put our career firefighters, the 9 of us that we have in town, on specialized teams throughout the Commonwealth of hazmat, tech rescue, these teams that would allow our career firefighters to be technicians in all these aspects. So our request is for the town to recognize us with the International Association of Firefighters and the Professional Firefighters of Massachusetts.
Okay. Sean or Patty?
A question, Matt. How is it normally done? I don't ever remember being approached on the board by anyone. Matt,
As it's explained to me, there's 2 processes to go through. One is this way of approaching the selectmen at a select board meeting and requesting the select board to voluntarily recognize us with these, with the International Association of Firefighters and Professional Firefighters of Massachusetts, or there's where we file paperwork through the Department of Labor Relations, kind of the more formal way.
Okay.
Sean, do you have anything?
Yeah, so it's I've talked to Matt and before about this a little bit. My understanding that you're looking for recognition to organize, and then we'll kind of go through the town will go through a collective bargaining process after, if we were to recognize you as an organization, to then establish any collectively bargain. What's your feelings about the EMT and firefighter situation now, and what you guys would be looking for in the future and that?
Currently, we are 100% completely happy with where we're at with Chief Brown, Town Manager Ketchen, as well as the members of the Select Board. Currently, of what we'd be looking to gain out of this is to really memorialize what has been built for us and our positions that we have now. Going forward, what we are looking for is to keep everything the same and keep it status quo, to make sure that these jobs will always be here as long as, as you guys progress out of your positions on the Select Board, and as people change positions throughout the town. Through the time that Chief Brown has come in the last 4 years and really built this department, this is really to make what we have stay the same and keep what we have, going. And I truly think this will make retention of employees. It just makes it more attractive to recruit employees to come work for us, and B, retain the employees to stay working for us and make careers out of it working for the town of Lee.
Mm-hmm. So, Matt, what's sort of some of the specifics as far as your environment there and the situation? Like, I know you guys do 24-hour shifts. Anything, those sorts of things. Anything else like that?
Truly, just the entire job of making sure we have our positions there. I mean, the 24-hour shifts is a great. What's that?
Because I know that was sort of some of the things that have changed throughout the transition that has been made over there. So I just wanted to kind of identify some of those things that are really working well for you guys.
The 24-hour shifts are definitely working well. It leaves for a lot of time to also go to different trainings by scheduling it on these days off. We only work 2 days a week and have the other 5 off. That a lot of us look at our schedules and say, all right, we don't have to take work off. We can schedule our trainings to go to on our days off. Works really well. Schedule. And I know I just signed up for a class at the end of April, and they offered 2 dates, and one of the dates was on a day I was working. So having this schedule, it worked out perfect because I went to the end of April and it was 2 days I was off. It's really a nice flowing schedule that we have. That's definitely one of the perks that we like, and we'd like to make sure kind of stays the same.
So some of the things that the IAFF offers is training, right? So you guys would be organizing like this would kind of open up more avenues and it's my understanding that they provide that training to you with no cost from the town.
That's correct. The training does not cost the town anything, and there's multiple avenues of trainings. There's trainings that we go to in person. They also have a portal that you can use to do online trainings while either on shift or off shift that are to further the education, further knowledge. And they're really some great training programs I've seen already. One of them is the Fireground Strategies, that opens up the doors with kind of deeper thought on seeing size up of a structure fire, of reading smoke and whatnot. It's very thorough, and it's great trainings.
Okay. Good.
Well, you realize we're mandated now to keep a full-time fire force through the state. So that was never going to change anyways. And I respect what you guys want to do. And, we'll see how this goes, but Chris, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't have anything to add. You want to make a determination, probably not tonight, but at some subsequent meeting, whether you want to pursue the voluntary recognition route or some alternate route.
And what would be up and down of doing one over the other?
It's not immediately clear to me.
Okay.
I have a question, Matt. I'm just curious. You mentioned about it allows your career firefighters to attend specialized teams across the country. Did I understand that for career firefighters? And are you saying you can't do that unless you're a union?
Yes, ma'am. There's part of the team. So like the state hazmat team, it's across the state of Massachusetts. That to be part of that is one of the prerequisites is being endorsed by the International Association of Firefighters. And there's it allows so much for training and being able to, specialize and have technicians that work right in the town, hazmat technicians and whatnot.
And how many full-time people are we talking about?
It would be the 9 career firefighters that we have right now.
Well, if you don't, I'd like to take a couple of weeks until our next meeting at least to think about this and the impact it might have on the town before I made a decision, if that's all right with you.
Okay.
And I don't know about David and Sean, how you feel.
Matt, if you do this, does that mean you, and this is just a question, does that mean if there's a big problem somewhere else in the country, you guys can go or will be requested to go? You see all these, when you have these huge fires and something, they ask surrounding areas or to go. Does that mean you guys would do that as well or no?
I don't know if that's an immediate question that we would be required to do it. I can always find out that answer. But I know that if, for instance, if we would want to volunteer, I'm sure that would be allowed, but I don't have the immediate answer to your question. I can find that out for you though.
It's really just curiosity. You see all these big fires and all that, and they get states sending in people. I didn't know if you guys would be required to that being part of this group or not.
With being on,
I was going to say, just since we only have 9 of you at this time.
I know that with being on the team, so like the hazmat team, if there was an incident across the state, they needed to request members, and with us being on the Western Mass team, the people that were to go through that training, the state would cover that overtime that would be required, and the members of that team would, if they were requested, would go for that. I know by that specialized team. Now, being in the union, I don't believe that out of state or anything without being on a specialized team that they would pull us away or anything.
Okay. Well, it would just be my concern with only 9 of us, that if they ask you to get pulled away, do we have coverage at that point?
So that would be, I know the state and the union does offer to reimburse for backfilling shifts, but I believe that is only for like the specialized teams that are on, not that it would be pulled away out of state or anything, or anyone that wasn't on that team.
Okay. Well, it's just one of those odd things that happens,
Yep.
God knows these days, if they pull 5 of you out, I got 4 guys to cover 9 guys shifts.
Sure.
And, it would be one thing if we had 50 guys, but we have 9.
Yep.
If they're going to, is it, is it your decision to go, or is it our decision if you can go? Is it the chief's decision? I'd like to get an answer to that question.
So I believe on the team, it would be if you're on like the hazmat team, I believe getting on the team, that is part of the standard of getting on the team, but it will never leave us uncovered. And I believe that does ultimately come through the chief, though. He has the final decision.
Okay, great. All right. Sean, you have anything else?
No, I don't. Actually, Chris, could I ask Chris, do you have much experience setting up these an organization like this organizing?
Chris wouldn't set it up.
I mean, we're dealing with, okay. Then, no, I don't have anything further.
We have the police union, the Teamsters union, and the school union,
Right,
which we deal with on a regular basis.
To attempt to answer the question that Mr. Renier was asking, once the collective bargaining unit is in place, we of course engage in collective bargaining in the same way as Mr. Consoletti was saying we do with the local police and the DPW production unit. It would be governed by Chapter 150E of the general laws. And it would be a closed shop. There'd be a steward on one side of the table, management on the other, perhaps a rep, perhaps counsel, depending on the nature of what's being bargained over. And we'd attempt to come to an agreement through traditional prescribed bargaining methods as outlined in statute.
thank you.
Matt, could I just ask one question of you before we're done for tonight? Why are you asking us to go this route and not through the normal procedure of filing papers?
This route, it's not out of the normal. It's just a way to, recognize us through this way. I mean, if we file the papers, we can do that, and that just becomes a little extended process. And it might, to be quite honest, it might be costly for either us or the town. So this way, it kind of avoids the cost of it with filing the papers.
Okay, well, again, I'll just say I'd be more
entirely unclear to me how there would be a fiscal impact on the town. So I'd like some more information on that.
right. Let's just find out the answer to those questions before our next meeting, okay? I mean, that's how I feel.
Okay. Matt, do you have anything else for us?
No, that is all I have.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Moving on. We have a Lee Youth Commission draft of business plan for potential community center.
Mr. Chair, I was informed by Chairwoman Hall before tonight's meeting that she's in a subcommittee meeting on this topic and will not be attending the selectmen's meeting tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
So then move on to pending business, which we have none, and then the town administrator with the FY 2022 budget discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the Board of Selectmen. So you'll note that you have copies of your black binder. It is with the FY 2022 budget. I've not done one of these through Zoom with the town before. Last year we were in person, but we're going to give it a shot. So the FY 2022 budget request that's in front of you calls for a total spending plan of $26.6 million in FY 22. That's up from $25.5 million in the current fiscal year, which is FY 21. The operating budget for the various town departments, including all of our public safety, public works, general government, health and human services, and education related departments, is up 2.1% to $24.2 million. in the request. And we're looking at a very robust $1.6 million resumption of our aggressive capital plan. The budget also includes a number of allocations for miscellaneous articles. We're looking at paying down some prior year debt obligations, also making approximately $30,000 in technology upgrades through the various departments. The budget would fund updates to both the comprehensive master plan as well as the open space and recreation plan. The budget would also contemplate the funding of a contribution to a special education stabilization fund for the town, as well as fully funding the anticipated request of the Lee Public Schools. Additionally, we're returning to the practice of regular vehicle replacement in our various departments. That was something that was cut out of the budget last year as a result of the fiscal uncertainty surrounding COVID. But we have a number of fiscal factors working in the town's favor this year, starting first and foremost with a flat health insurance assessment. So it looks like we're going to keep those costs flat in the coming year.
Oh my God, that's unheard of.
I can't hear him.
I said it's unheard of to have flat health care.
I'm sorry, say that again, sir?
It's unheard of to have flat health care.
Yeah, and this is the second year in a row that's been accomplished. So kudos to Assistant CAO Broom and Donna Toomey, our treasurer collector, for the work that they've done with Maya on keeping those costs under control. It benefits not only the town operations, but the school operations as well. So moving on, I mean, I could go on and on about the various elements of the budget, but we'll have a couple of months to do that. But the bottom line is we're looking at the levy, the town's property tax levy, impacted at just under 1.6%, which is less than last year's, and that's before we factor in any new growth for the coming fiscal year. So the net impact of the levy will likely, well, won't likely, it will certainly be less than that, but we don't know how much. So that's it in a nutshell. I'll take any questions, but you're just sort of absorbing what I've said so far.
Is this tax rate impacted by the passage of the Community Act?
Oh, the CPA.
So there will be a surcharge next year, and that will be its own independent assessment. But that's something that the voters voted to add on in addition. But the operating budget does not seek to make any additional impact beyond the 1.6 or less than 1.6.
That's included in the 1.6?
No, I suppose that the CPA would be in addition.
So then that would bring it up to 3, almost 3?
At 1.5%, yeah, it would be almost 3%.
And we removed the water tax, so we lost a point on that.
Right.
All right. Well, careful what you wish for, Rick. You just might get it.
Well, yes, that is certainly true. But the other thing is the CPA. It's not a pure 1.5 because it's just hard to do the math because a certain amount of the assessment is netted out of it. So it's not. I can't give you a pure number on CPA. So you could use the 1.5 as a rule of thumb for now.
Right.
But
Either way, we're going to get hit from that. All right. So we're still negotiating the budget anyways, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I assume we'll have a discussion about the federal government money we got and how to implement that into maybe removing some of this, depending on the criteria.
Right. So those guidelines are yet to be issued, but we've been conservative on all of our other revenue assumptions as well. We've been flat on our cannabis revenue, which is already pretty conservatively budgeted. We've gone with the governor's number for state aid and local assessments. That number usually changes after it works its way through both houses of the legislature, as it is currently. And we've been conservative on local rooms and meals, as well as motor vehicle excise. So I feel comfortable that we've been sufficiently conservative on our other local sources. So hopefully that'll result in returns that are more deadening to the levy impact than what we're portraying in this very conservative assumption.
I understand. Just my thoughts on the federal money. If it's allowed, maybe we can use that for some of these capital expenditures. It would be nice to just pay for a police car rather than roll it into a budget. And if that's perfectly fine, or add our assessment money to the fire department, as well as some of the DPW capital expenditures, just do it one time and it's done, and it not take a hit to the expenditure.
Understood. Yeah, I look forward when those guidelines are promulgated to have a full briefing with the board on exactly what the options are, because it's a substantial one-time windfall for the town.
Right.
And you'll want to contemplate for a while on how you want to deploy those resources in a way that meets one-time needs without building additional pressure into the operating side of the budget.
Right. My thing is, I don't want it to be Halloween and we got all this candy and spend 2 days eating it all and then wonder where it all went. Sean or Patty, got anything?
No, we'll be talking about this for a while.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add at this point.
All right.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris, do you have anything else?
That's all for now. I'll be speaking with Chairman Arianti from the Finance Committee tomorrow, and we'll be setting up the reviews that go along with the process in advance of town meeting. So we're looking forward to it.
All right. Well, it seems like town meeting just happened a month or two ago.
We did, didn't we?
Anyways, can I get a motion? Our next regular meeting is April 6th, 2021. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Pat Carlino.
Sean Rennie, second.
All those in favor?
Pat Carlino, aye.
Sean Renier, aye.
David Consolati, aye. Folks, have a good evening.
You.